The throne room of Vathun fell silent as the apex predator spoke. His voice, a subsonic rumble that rattled the bones of every species present, carried the weight of 17 conquered star systems. "I require an heir," Vathun announced, his 6 eyes scanning the assembled delegates. "One who can speak the first tongue. One who can read the dead scrolls of Kendara. Only then will my empire pass to worthy hands." The galaxy's most powerful beings shifted uncomfortably. The first tongue had been dead for 12,000 years, lost when the Kendara civilization collapsed into their dying star. Its script was impossible. Each symbol existed in 4 dimensions, perceivable only by species with compound temporal vision. The Kendara themselves were long extinct, their secrets buried in ruins that drove archaeologists mad. Ambassador Threlzix of the Consortium clicked his mandibles nervously. "Great Vathun, surely you jest. No living being can—" "I can." The voice came from the back of the chamber. Every head turned. Every sensory organ focused on the small figure in the human delegation. Dr. Sarah Chen stepped forward, her boots clicking against the crystalline floor. She was unremarkable by galactic standards. No claws, no armor plating, no bioluminescence. Just a human in a simple gray suit, her dark hair pulled back, her brown eyes calm. Vathun's predatory gaze fixed on her. "You dare interrupt, human?" "I dare to answer, Apex Predator." Sarah's voice didn't waver. "You asked for someone fluent in the first tongue. I am that someone." Laughter rippled through the chamber. Harsh clicks, bellowing roars, chittering mockery. Humans were barely a century into galactic society. They were curiosities, their single planet unremarkable, their technology primitive. The idea that one could master what the galaxy's greatest scholars had deemed impossible was absurd. Vathun silenced them with a gesture. "Prove it." Sarah reached into her satchel and withdrew a battered tablet, human technology, crude but functional. She tapped it twice and holographic Kendaran script bloomed in the air. The symbols twisted through space-time, their forms shifting between dimensions. "The first tongue isn't just a language," Sarah began, her fingers tracing the impossible geometries. "It's mathematics, music, poetry. The Kendara encoded quantum probability into their grammar. Every word exists in superposition until observed in context." She spoke then, and the sound that emerged was wrong. It folded in on itself, resonated in frequencies that shouldn't exist, carried harmonics that made the air shimmer. The words were Kendaran, pure and perfect, and they spoke of stars being born and dying, of time flowing backward, of the universe dreaming itself into existence. The chamber fell deadly silent. Vathun rose from his throne, his massive form towering over Sarah. "How?" The word was barely a whisper. Sarah smiled. "Humans are pattern recognition machines, Apex Predator. Our brains evolved to see faces in clouds, hear messages in noise, find meaning in chaos. The first tongue? It's just another pattern, a very complex one, but still a pattern." She gestured to her tablet. "I spent 8 years in the ruins of Kendara Prime. I had no temporal vision, no compound eyes, no psionic receptors. What I had was time, stubbornness, and a peculiar human trait. We don't know when to quit. The symbols exist in 4 dimensions," she continued, her enthusiasm growing, "but humans think in metaphor. We translate the incomprehensible into something we can grasp. I mapped the 4th tongue's temporal components to musical notation. The quantum superpositions, I treated them like Schrödinger's equations. The impossible geometries? Topology problems." She looked up at Vathun unafraid. "I didn't learn the first tongue the way the Kendara spoke it. I learned it the way a human would, by being too stubborn to accept that it was impossible." The Apex Predator stared at her for a long moment. Then incredibly he laughed. It was a sound like mountains breaking, deep and genuine. "You are either brave or foolish. Anyway, I prefer persistent," Sarah replied. Vathun circled her slowly, his talons clicking against the floor. "Do you know why I demand fluency in the first tongue, Dr. Chen?" "Because the dead scrolls contain the locations of the Kendara weapons caches," Sarah answered calmly. "Enough firepower to reduce star systems to dust. You want an heir who can access that power, and yet you offer yourself." "I offer myself as heir to something better." Sarah's voice hardened. "The Kendara didn't fall because of weapons, Apex Predator. They fell because they forgot what the first tongue was really teaching them. The dead scrolls don't just tell you where the weapons are, They tell you why you should never use them. She held up her tablet, displaying a passage. This is from the last scroll. It says, "We who spoke all possibilities into being forgot that silence too is a choice. We who could reshape reality forgot that some things should remain unchanged. We who conquered death forgot how to live." Vathun was silent. "You want an heir who can speak the first tongue?" Sarah said quietly. "But what you need is an heir who understands what it meant. The Kendara had all the power in the universe, and it destroyed them. Humans, we're weak, fragile, we die easily, but maybe that's exactly what makes us qualified." The apex predator settled back onto his throne. "You would inherit an empire, human. 17 star systems, trillions of beings. Would you rule them?" "No," Sarah said simply. "I would teach them, starting with teaching them that empires built on conquest eventually crumble, just like the Kendara's did, just like yours will." The chamber held its breath. Then Vathun smiled, a terrifying expression on his predatory face. "You speak truth in a dead language and wisdom in a living one. Very well, human. You shall be my heir. Not to my empire, but to something greater. The knowledge that power without purpose is merely extinction waiting to happen." He rose, and his voice carried through the chamber. "Let it be known, Dr. Sarah Chen of Earth is named heir to the first tongue. And when I fall, she will not inherit my conquests. She will inherit my choice to end them." Sarah bowed, her heart pounding but her expression calm. As she turned to leave, she caught the eye of Ambassador Threlzix. The consortium delegate's mandibles hung open in shock. She smiled. It was very human, very smug. Humans, after all, had always been very good at surviving what should have killed them, and even better at learning what everyone else had deemed impossible. The first tongue was just the beginning.